Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the...
Have you been drinking?
You're alive.
We're about to get drunk. Crypto power. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the...
Have you been drinking?
You're alive.
Crypto power. Crypto power. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to the...
You're alive.
Crypto power.
Wow. Hey, everybody. This is Crypto Dale. My computer is like bugging out right now, so I apologize. Should be good to go now. So, please, with the congregation, please rise for the funeral of beloved brother Bitcoin. What's up, everybody? Crypto Dale. I will be the pastor of tonight's service, priest, pastor, whatever you'd like to call. Our readers for this evening, we'll start off with Killer Well. Killer, hello.
Hello, beautiful people.
Beautiful.
I don't know. I don't know what else I was going to say.
I'm not good at all this sad shit,
I'm at
guys.
a loss for words.
Prince,
What's up?
how you doing, buddy?
I'm living. You know, I'm still alive. I'm still breathing. You know, I'm still alive, but I'm barely breathing. You know,
The struggle is real, you know? I mean, it's real.
It's tough, right? We're just hoping that, you know, we can toss out a sad podcast, maybe a bearish podcast. Everything's dying, and it'll mark the bottom again for another rally up. We seem to have this effect on the market. I don't know. Maybe I just get a little ahead of myself with that. But hey, I think Nomad said we're like 6 for 6 right now. So let's hope we go 7 for 7.
I feel like now that we mentioned it, we're 100% not good.
Yeah, probably jinxed it already, but you know, it's
So we
yeah.
just kind of go ahead. Sorry, Killer.
Just going to say, yeah, once it becomes self-aware, the meme is dead, I think.
Yeah.
It won't work anymore.
Well, let's hope, you know, fingers crossed.
You know, Nita Coin said, had a good tweet today that kind of resonated with me a little bit. You know, the Godfather. He's been around a long time. He said that a lot of crypto Twitter is talking about the stock market, and the last time that happened was, I think he said 2014 or 15, and he said a lot of people got wrecked because they shipped their money to to buy some stocks, and then they missed out on the explosion. So,
well, you know, I felt myself going through that same kind of dilemma, right? It's like, you know, because it's tough, right? When you're trading things and say you're, you know, it's kind of been a market where it's like, for the most part, if you're shorting, you're making money. The long side, yeah, there's money to be made, but it's not the same as on the short side for the last while. And, you know, personally, I kind of like going long a little more than I like going short. So it's like, okay, well, maybe, you know, look into the stock market a little bit. But then it's like, you know, why the hell would I do that? Because, you know, I don't want to. I'm not a stock guy. Like, granted, I used to trade stocks, but, you know, it's not really where I want to be. So I just, you know, chill out.
You know, and Killer, you said something today in Gucci Gang, shout out Gucci Gang, that really, you know, a lot of times people probably know this, but Killer and I always seem to be on the same page. Like, there are numerous times in our Telegram chat or in other chats we're in together where he'll say something and then literally, like, he says it at 15 seconds and at 16 seconds I send the same thing, or vice versa. So
yeah,
when you said something about, when we were talking about that, I think with Ledger talking about the stock market, you said, I think you go, stock market, meh, not exciting enough for me.
You know, I don't know.
I was thinking the same thing. Like, I was looking at some charts and I'm just like, oh, Facebook's up, you know, couple dollars or whatever at the time.
This is like very meta, bro. But like, before you started talking about that, as Prince was finishing talking, I was thinking, oh, I'm going to talk about how in Gucci Gang, Dale and I were thinking the same thing about the stock market being boring. So this is like thoughtception or something.
If it's boring, you guys just need to get more leverage. Like,
yeah,
come on,
right?
That solves it.
Yeah. Well, for the record, I did buy HMNY because
why the hell would you buy
Forex
that?
Nike said, what?
Did you sell it at least when it got that ridiculous pump just yesterday or so?
Yeah.
Thank God.
No,
So
I did not.
Oh my god.
I like Nike says, man, I'm in this for $1,000. I'm in it for
Oh my
$1,000.
Jesus.
I figure if I'm out, that's what I'd spend at a casino is what I bought for it. So the next time some of my buddies were like, let's go to the casino, I'll say, you know what? I can't. I bought HMNY. I'll just sit this one out.
What happens when it like just dies?
If it dies, it dies.
If it dies, it dies. Like that thing is a turd. Like that's in shitcoin territory right there. That thing is it's a turd. You can't polish a turd.
I can. Here's the thing though. I could sell fucking ice to an Eskimo.
Okay.
True. Dale is for people who don't know, Dale is very good with people. Like it's probably like one of the best skills you can have, but it's good for sales, it's good for everything. It's kind of, it doesn't come naturally to a lot of people, but it's it's a good thing to have. So
if you're listening and need you're trying to close a deal of some sort, send me a PDF of what you're trying to close.
Yeah.
Okay. Fly me out to where you need me to come.
Nice commission.
All I charge is a small 30% fee. But seriously.
Or if you're just having a tough time in life, if you just want some advice, you can always, his DMs are open. I mean, he loves responding to that stuff all day.
On Twitter, I try and respond to every single DM I get. I need to turn my mic up.
I love this. People are chirping your mic for once. This makes me so happy because I used to be the guy who got chirped all the time. The tables have turned.
Well, we got to tell the people. This is partially my fault because before the podcast, I was talking to Dale and I'm like, Dale, by the way, you got to turn your mic down a little bit. The editor's saying that like there's a little bit of distortion, and so now we've gone the other direction, and it's like he's down a hallway. But I think we're
it's the way she goes. But yeah, I actually I wanted to talk about something I think is kind of funny, and right now I've kind of noticed it more and more as we've entered, we've been in this kind of bear market the last few months, and we've seen a lot of egos disappear, which has been great, I think, because fuck, those things can just be toxic. But so I made this tweet recently, like anyone who says you should isolate yourself to one income source, just don't listen to them. And it was really funny because I noticed a lot of this kind of talk happening when we were in, the midst of like the raging bull run of Bitcoin, and it was just going super parabolic. And I can't remember seeing quite a few individuals who, obviously are making some good returns saying how, I don't need anything and I live off my trading, and my trading is just that good. And it's like, okay, guys, well, let's look at the market we're in for a minute here. And then they would continue on to bash passive income methods because they made all their money from trading, right? I know. And now you get the bear market, you don't hear this anymore. This has gone silent. All these egos who wanted to talk about how great their trading was and how they can just live off of that are no longer talking like that. So this is just one of those things that's come kind of full circle to me. And I found it pretty comical. And I like, there was some fairly big accounts I remember saying how passive income was just retarded. And it's like, excuse me, what planet are you on? Right. It's like,
here's the thing with that. I'm gonna chirp in a little bit. Is yes, okay, you could be the best trader in the entire world and make jillions and jillions of dollars. I get that.
And there are guys who crush it, time after time, up and down markets.
Yes, I get that. That's a ton of money, and you probably think that you're set up for life. But tell me what's wrong with a continual funnel of income.
Yeah.
No matter what. I mean, that's just absolute ludicrous that people think that I don't need passive income.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if I was guaranteed $1,000 every month, if I'm picking up fucking acorns in the street, all I gotta do is pick up, it's easy. I'm gonna do that because you're guaranteed that money.
Yeah.
You never know if you have good gajillions and gajillions, you're always gonna think that I'm untouchable, and you could think, okay, I lost bajillion, I need to recoup that ASAP even though I still have a shit ton. Then you could get lax with your money and accidentally lose a shit ton of it.
Yeah.
The thing is too, this is kind of like this is getting into like life in general too. I think you should diversify as many things as you can. You know, if you have a commute, diversify your commute. Like take a different route. If you have
Mhm.
friends, diversify your friend group. You know, you hang out with a couple different people and different people at different times. And I think it's just like there's that cheesy saying like variety is the spice of life.
Mhm.
But the older I get, and this is getting like kind of weird and like, but the more I kind of realize that to be true. It's just, I mean, life can be tough at times, but I think if you keep it fresh with new challenges and things,
Mhm.
and I mean, again, I'm getting off the beaten path here, but Prince, basically, long story short, you're absolutely right. Diversify your income,
Yeah.
because you're not always going to be able to trade the markets well, not by
Yeah,
any
that's
means.
when we get into a bear market, getting that steady money flow, it becomes tougher. And so you start to separate the people who are just kind of coasting along during the nice ride to, okay, now this guy actually has some serious skill because he's crushing every move. And you know, none of us here are crushing every move. There are very few people who are crushing every move. So yeah, it's a thing, right? I don't think I've ever heard someone complain about having, making too much money. So, well, maybe just come tax time, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Yo, I'm getting my shit beat in these chats tonight. You guys can all fuck off.
These people are just ripping into it. Your mic sucks, man. I love being able
Still?
to say that too.
Yeah, it feels like you're far away or something. Like the phone is on one end of the room and you're like talking into the other or
Is it a
something.
little better now?
No,
Uh,
not really.
Okay, you guys talk about something else. I'm gonna
you're
turn
a
my
lost
mic off.
cause, dude.
Okay. But
Dale has
yeah,
left the
so
chat.
yeah. One thing I think Prince and I both wanted, and Dale and Prince and I all wanted to talk about was this ETF delay today.
Mm,
So for anybody who doesn't know, today, August 7th, I believe it is, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, delayed their decision to approve or deny an ETF brought forth by VanEck and SolidX, which are two traditional finance companies that have now cooperated to try to bring an ETF, a Bitcoin ETF, to the game. For people who don't know, an ETF is an exchange traded fund. It's very similar to a mutual fund in that it accomplishes liquidity and diversification, but it's more real time than a mutual fund. A mutual fund is priced once per day at the end of the day. An ETF is priced live according to the assets it contains. So, long story short, this would be a great thing, I think, for the space because it would bring a lot of capital into the space. I know this is extremely redundant for a lot of people who've been following
mm.
it, but we do have some new people, and we do get messages that go, you got to explain things at more of a base layer. So, yeah, that's what an ETF is. But anyway, they delayed it. So we have to wait until September 30th for a decision now. Prince, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, I think it's understandable. The SEC, you know, they're trying to introduce this, crazy wild ass market with an ETF into the legacy markets in a sense. So I think, yeah, of course, things are going to take time. It's not going to be an overnight thing. Um, there's a lot of people. I thought it was kind of funny though to see because, and now this is just the classic. This is the market we're in right now. People are like, well, that wasn't even really bad news. Why are we dumping? And I think, yeah, we've dumped like, I don't know what, $600 or so since that came out, $700 maybe. And
Yeah,
that is just
we'll talk about that
how,
too.
yeah, and that's just how things go, when you're in a bear market. It doesn't really matter, if there's even the slightest of reasons, it's going to do it. It's going to dump, right?
And like we talked about before, I mean, how much good news has gone completely
Yeah,
unaddressed by the market? You know, there's been so
yeah.
much good news in a lot of projects, technology
I think
advancements,
we've had more good news in the
there.
last 6 months than we did during that entire huge run up that we had.
Easily. I
Yeah,
mean, Ethereum not being labeled a security? Are you kidding me? That did
yeah.
nothing. That would have resulted in a 5 to 10 times a year ago. No
Mhm.
problem.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And
that's just, to me, that just goes to show the market we're in, right? It's just another, hello, look at me. This is where you are right now. It's not a very bullish market, but hey, let's hope we're marking another relief rally or something and from this episode with this. But yeah, it's just, it goes to show you what kind of environment we're in right now.
Hey,
Oh, fuck.
oh, he's there. That's better.
Prince.
What?
I want you to know at Crypto CoinCon, we are fucking fighting.
Oh, good.
Just let everyone know if you haven't bought your tickets yet. Daddy's back. Prince is going down. Okay.
It's good to have you back, Dale.
So yeah, this new shit. It's like I feel I feel like, you know, when we were in that bull run there at the beginning of last year, you could literally be like, yeah, the dev added one commit, you know, that was just changes the color of the wallet.
They changed the color of the white paper. This is cool.
Yeah, they put out a non-technical white paper and it would pump 10x. I mean, just go crazy. And now it's like, hey, look, this coin's getting listed on Binance.
I miss the days when even just a website update or something, you know, just revamping a coin's website would pump the coin like 30%. Like those days are long gone, but I do remember those days.
Okay,
yeah, and like
here's
like
another
that
thing.
Dr. Trogdor said with Coinbase announcing a listing of coins they're going to add, like, you know, Ethereum Classic got added to Coinbase today, and it didn't do shit. And Robinhood the other day. I mean, it did yesterday. It did.
It's a nice move.
Fuck ETC. Like, why is this coin being added to Coinbase? I'm still salty about this.
It's the next fucking Bitcoin. That's why.
It's a berry coin.
It's the net, or I shouldn't say Bitcoin. It's the next Ethereum. Thank you,
guys.
I honestly find ETC in the same category as Litecoin, LTC. Like, to me, it's just,
dude.
I don't see.
The top reason cited for anybody holding it is it's a berry coin. So like there's an ultimate shill that will shill the hell out of it. It's like there is no use case. I mean, I've always been an ETC hater, and I'm even more of one now.
To me, it's a coin for the miners. So I think I haven't actually been watching the mining difficulty and all that stuff, but I'm pretty sure there's been an increase in miners lately. But to me, that is really what ETC is for. To me, ETC is for the miners, and to me, that's kind of like LTC. LTC is kind of, you know, it's for the miners, really. You know what I mean? Like, I don't find a whole lot of purpose or, you know, like, oh, it's going to do all of this, this, and this. No, it's pretty basic in what it does. But it's got, you know, it's got Barry behind it. Barry makes things happen.
Here's the reasoning ETC is one in my top 3 bags held. Because I feel, hopefully, when the market finally turns around, and people get on Coinbase to buy something new, you know, new retail investors, they're going to say, okay, I've got Bitcoin at, you know, 6,500. I've got Ethereum at 400 and whatever. I've got Litecoin at, I couldn't even tell you right now. And I've got Ethereum Classic at $18. I'm just going to buy a shit ton of that because it's the cheapest one on there.
Yeah.
That's why I have a bag.
That I very much agree with, and I think you're spot on with that. That was something I was saying for a long time about Litecoin.
And
I can't
hopefully in a bull market you get a ETC pump to, you know, like to 150 or 140, whatever Litecoin got up to. I mean, that's the pure reason that I hold it.
I had the weirdest combination of like sick to my stomach and thrilled with you saying just that, like start of a new alt pump, but also ETC in the hundreds.
Yeah, I was like, don't say that.
Just fuck you, Prince. Fight me.
I'm in physical pain.
Oh, Litecoin real quick. $300. That is disgusting.
Yeah, it got way.
Is that USD or is that
USD
money up north?
USD. I think
that
now
fake trade war money.
Yeah, Prince is like, yeah, I bought my plane ticket to Crypto CoinCon. It was like $10,000, and I'm like, what? Well, it's Canadian dollars. I'm like, oh, so you're picking up pebbles off the street?
Yeah, Prince is using the Zimbabwe currency.
my plane ticket was 10 million Zimbabwe.
When you guys are telling me how much it's costing you to fly out there, and then I'm looking at my tickets. I'm like, what the hell? Then I got to remember, you know, I'm coming in from a different country, so.
Yeah, I sent 100 ETC to whoever to book my plane ticket. Again, Prince.
Prince is completely off the grid. Like he pays people in Dogecoin for his flight or something.
Why am I getting chirped right now? I don't even understand.
It's your turn. That's why.
Oh, it's my
turn.
I took the blunt of it at the beginning. Now it's your turn.
True.
Oh, okay.
I think we're miserable, so we need to find humor in the misery.
That's and another thing I want to talk about here quick is people busting Bacon Chain's balls for being so bullish or being so bearish. And now look.
Yeah.
Huh.
Funny how things go.
It is.
Yeah. So for anybody who wasn't following, like Bacon, we're starting a new series called TA with Josh, run by our buddy Bacon_Chain, I believe, on Twitter. Really smart guy. Does a lot of chart work, TA, technical analysis. For anybody who doesn't know. And we had him on about 1.5 weeks ago saying that he was bearish on Bitcoin. The next day, Bitcoin went up like $400-$500, and everyone's like, "Oh, what are you talking about, dude? Like, you're so wrong."
This guy's an idiot.
Yeah.
So turns out he was absolutely right. I mean, Bitcoin was at like the low 8,000s at that point, and now we're at 6,500. So, funny how things work out.
But you know what? Having a bearish.
This is why I never post charts. On Twitter.
100%. Like, there's a thing to it. Like, there's a reason why you'll see a lot of people. They don't necessarily want to post bearish stuff, but they will post bullish things.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a whole sentiment thing.
I'm raising my hand.
Yeah, because people get riled up. You say something bearish, and they are going to get emotionally, distraught over it. It's like, how dare you say I'm going to lose money soon? It's like, so they don't want to believe it. And, it's always funny to just see even interactions on different stuff. I think Cash is he's a talented shorter, and he's one of the better ones, wicked trader. And it's funny though, because like some of his short stuff, you'll see it's like, doesn't get the same love that, say, if he posts something bullish, will. Right. You know what I mean?
I've always called him Cache.
Cache?
Is that wrong?
I call him Cash.
Cash money. I don't know.
We need a vote on this. I'm gonna put this on Twitter. I'm gonna tag him and say Cache or Cash, because we got to get to the bottom of this. I've been wondering for a while. Anyway, sorry. But yeah. And the thing is, I mean, it's going back to your point, Prince. It's like when you post bearish stuff on Twitter, you don't get nearly the number of engagements that you do when you post bullish shit, because people want to be optimistic, and so
it's a national
into it too.
Yeah. You look at it. People, it's a lot easier for people to want to be in something and hope it goes up, rather than being in something and hoping it goes down. Right? It's a whole different mentality. To be able to go into something and say, okay, I want this to lose money, right? Some people can't do it. It's not my best skill set. I'll make it happen sometimes, but if I have a choice, I'd rather go long than short. And I guess, that's costed me profit opportunities, of course, but, try to focus on what I'm good at and just stick to that. So
let me make something clear here. For Moby Dick. You said perma bull for life. Yes, long term, I am still 100% bullish on all of this stuff. But just because I'm long term bullish doesn't mean I can't be short term bearish.
How much lower? How much lower could it go for you to stay bullish? Could it until you say forever? Turn? Really? So it could just go like how much lower?
You mean like how long? How low does it have to go for me to?
And where you're like, okay, I got
long term.
Scale capitulation. Where do we need to get to?
I don't know if I want to say this number because it'll it'll happen. 6,500.
Yeah. There you go.
No. Hey, for everyone listening, I don't know if you guys. I don't even know if I told you guys this. I went on Around the Corn on Sunday, and I definitely was the champion.
Yeah, I listened to some of it. You kind of sucked, but.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was nervous as fuck at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like
you need to be chatty.
I know.
Yeah,
I was just like,
yeah. But, no, I noticed that too.
Yeah. Shout out to those guys. Even though, if you're bored at work, okay, or bored in life, tag the Around the Corn guys in a Twitter post, and you will have content for hours to search through. It's like you can tag those as. It's Zod, Nero, whatever you want to call him. He's the best. Moby Dick, Yuki's wife Goddess.
They get some pretty lit combos going.
Draws, and then Hell's Chicken. Those guys, if you tag all them in it, I mean, game fucking over. Because I bet if you would look at all the threads that I have muted, I bet if if more than two of those guys are in it, I bet that thread is muted.
Yeah.
They're wild. I love it.
They are wild. I've had a few threads where they come in and hijack it, and I just got to disappear.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do. But you know what? We were hijackers at one time too.
We were. It all starts somewhere.
I have a framed tweet of the first of the tweet that I hijacked that got me banned
Oh my god.
for 12 hours. It's framed on my desk. So
This is just reminiscing now, on the glory days.
Sorry. Back to
I have
Bitcoin.
I have some bad news.
What?
I put this poll out here for Cache
Yeah.
or Cash, whatever you want to say. Cash is winning 65% to 35% over Cache. 23 votes. So we got a ways to go, but
We got a ways to go. Well, why don't we just get Cash to weigh in on it?
I'm scared of that,
Pronunciation of
Yeah,
I'm wrong.
Cache boy. You guys ever play poker?
I'm trying to teach myself. Because these days I find myself making most of my money actually just through sports gambling. So it's like, maybe I should take up poker too. Don't really know how to play, but figure I got to learn, right?
Yep. I'd say so.
All right, let's talk about the price of corn, which we're holding a funeral for. And what do you guys think? Where are we going from here? Currently, we're recording this on Tuesday, and the price has just gone from 68.69 down to 6,600.
Yeah, we broke a pretty, what I would call a critical level that I was watching, around 68.50.
Yep.
We are below that. So we'll see. I don't know. It's like there's a lot of people calling for new lows, right? Already I see the calls for 5K coming out, and sub 5K. And, I'm not going to go into that kind of crap because to me, it's just, I don't honestly know. But, it's not the greatest looking of things right now, right? We broke a pretty key support level. We're below it now. If we can get back above it, then maybe I start thinking, okay, well, hey, maybe we get a nice bounce here and we can go higher again. But otherwise, for now, it's, the trend is, we're going down, right? So there's nothing really much to say about that.
So we've had, not counting today, in the last 10 days, we've had one green candle.
Yeah, and I think that's like setting a record all on its own.
It's gotta.
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned, so to say. I agree with you, even though I called you a pussy.
We haven't even had it. In the last 10 days, I don't even think we've had a green candle yet.
Yeah, there's one on
A tiny little chode.
on the 5th.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, this has been a pretty impressive little rundown.
If I give a bottom number and it doesn't hit, I'm getting crucified.
Yeah, so give one.
I'm just trying to look here. I mean, honestly, like you said, that I was at, like, my key support was in that 68, 60, 50 range, like you. And I mean,
one thing that I have,
another key area here would be 5,800 range, maybe 6,200.
Guys, I think we're done with the key areas. I think the key area is like 6,700. I think we're just going down now.
We're just going down. The one thing that I've really kind of watched, and this is something, whenever crypto Twitter gets a little too onto something, a setup, and the whole crowd is onto it, usually it's going to flop. This is just something, and I'm sure many other people have noticed this before too. When the whole crowd gets onto one setup and one play, it's usually not going to work in favor of the crowd. Whose mic is just muffling around right now?
Your face.
This is just terrible, Dale. Fix
Hey,
yourself.
Luke.
Fix
Check
yourself.
your DM, Luke Martin.
But here's the thing, right? So everybody's been going on about the Wyckoff accumulation phase. Everyone and their dog is posting a chart about it, right? It's like, oh, look at this. We're now going up, and we're going to go up, and we're going to go over 13K, and boom, you know what? We've just finished the spring. Well, everyone's watching that. Everyone is seeing the same thing, right? And now you got all of crypto Twitter getting all excited about this too, right? So what, Mr. Market wants to flip the bird to as many people as possible. Well, again, let's just dump it. As everyone thinks, it's like, I think we're setting up to be in that LPS zone, which would have been, kind of a throwback, and then it would have gone higher from there. And, we were getting this throwback, and I think there was a lot of people loading up, right, saying, okay, well, let's get some longs here because this is the LPS throwback on the Wyckoff accumulation phase. It's kind of sketch.
What is an LPS throwback?
Yeah, I don't know that either. I'm an idiot.
Last point support or something like that. Oh, fuck! If ask me that, but it's LPS. You look at the schematic, and
you're the one talking about it.
It's the schematic. You look at it, okay?
God damn.
And everybody is going for this whole point, and it's like right on point. It's got to be the exact setup, right? And now it's just going way low, and I think people are like, oh, crap. Maybe that's not – are we going to get another spring, another Wyckoff spring? Because everyone was talking about the spring a while ago, and, it could have been the spring, but I don't know. Is it going to be the spring? Or are we going to have a new spring? Who the hell knows, right? So this is the thing. When everybody gets a little too onto something, a little too excited for something, maybe you got to start wondering about it.
Hey, Barney. Yeah, Barney messaged me and said, why do you guys have to start at 3 a.m.? Barney the boy. Anyways, yeah, so Prince, I can't believe you didn't know that abbreviation. You're like talking about it.
I don't know. I'm guessing it's what, last point support or something like that. I don't know. Fuck. It's been a while since I really dived deep into Wyckoff. So
okay.
What do you don't know what it is, Joe?
That'd be why I asked.
Oh. Well, don't ask me stupid shit, man.
Ask stupid questions, get stupid answers, right?
Jesus.
Prince, you had a deep Wyckoff phase for like
weeks. And it was
all you know what talk about.
Well, it was good for a while until everybody else got into it. It's like,
yeah.
Whoa, Prince crowd in the trades.
Well, it was really good for a while, and then it's like, I don't know, and I wasn't the first one to notice it, and this was a few months back. There was somebody else on Twitter noticed it, and I was like, oh shit, okay, that's kind of interesting. And it was playing out, and it was playing out nicely. But yeah, whenever like one thing gets a little too crowded, you kind of got to get a little worried. And the same goes for coins. Whenever you see a coin just getting talked about nonstop, nonstop, nonstop,
shit.
You got to be a little concerned
Fucking
that's when it's like, okay, everybody and their dog is in this trade with me. Is it really going to be that profitable if everybody is in it with me? Well,
yeah.
Shout out Rick. Go to hell. So okay, here's a question. Someone said in here, Bitcoin is tanking because of the ETF delay. That would be Low Roller Scratcher said that. What do you guys think of that? I'll go ahead and wait until after.
Nope. I think people always want a reason. So people are always looking for, why did it go down? Why did it go up? I think that's the reason people are using. I don't think that's the actual reason. I think the reason is because we've been in a bearish trend for 7 months. So it like we talked about before, no matter how good or bad or whatever the news is, it doesn't have an effect. I think the ETF delay is not good, but it's not really bad either. I mean, well, you got to wait a month.
A denial would be a lot worse.
Yeah,
denial would suck. But I'm just going to interrupt you.
Honestly, I got a theory. I don't think a denial will be bad. I almost think like the whole like ETF pie in the sky thing is a good thing for people to look at. So I kind of think I'm almost happier if it never gets approved, because I think it's always something people can look forward to and go, oh, the price is doing bad now, but what if we get an ETF approval? It's going to skyrocket. And I almost think that sentiment and that hopefulness is almost worth more than like the ETF itself. Because what if it underdelivers? What if the ETF is slow to take off?
Mm-hmm. It's true. And Dale, I'm just going to say something right now. LPS does stand for last point of support. So
Thank
I was
God.
right. I was right the whole time.
I was really worried
Prince
that
is
people
frantically
were going to question
Googling.
your abilities. That'd be like me saying out here, be like, yeah, so checking reading the chart here on Bitcoin, I see the PPP is looking pretty low on this indicator, and then the WTF is kind of blue too. Someone would be like, what's the PPP mean? I'd be like, Dale has left the chat.
It was a while since I got into the whole terminology.
Yeah,
No.
and again, this low roller scratcher said he's enjoying the bear market since he can collect free, blah blah blah. But I also say, anyone can make money in a bull market unless you're a dumbass. But it's to me, and I apologize if you didn't make money in the bull market. Send your complaint to Prince. The bear market, I think, is where you learn from better. And I think like we talked about during that bull run, I was looking back now, I'm able to look back and see, I remember at one time I was just like looking at my blockfolio and I'm just like, holy shit, this cannot be true. This has gone up so fast, so quick. This is the easiest fucking thing I've ever done. And then, then it starts going down and I'm just like, oh, it's going to bounce back. It's going to bounce back. So looking back now, once you feel that moment where you're like, God damn, this is awesome. I think here's your sign.
I think there's a lot to kind of take notice of, and especially even now, I know there's a lot of people who are probably feeling very almost like a desperation, right? It's like, what the hell do I do? And I think that moment of desperation that you'll get, and everybody I think gets them at some point or another in some different form, but those are important. And when everything is going good, there is none of that sense, that desperation. And it's in that desperation that you'll really, if you're going to figure something out, how to do something, it is that point where you're going to do it, is in that desperation point, right? Because that's when it's like you feel like you got no other option and you got to do it. And for a lot of people, it's trying to make some money in crypto, right? And trying to save their portfolios. So, I think you got to keep, you got to remember this feeling. Because when it gets really good, you completely lose sight of that feeling. You just forget about it, and it's like, that never even happened, right? You got to remember that, because I think, there's moments where it's like bull market comes and everything's going great, and then you get lazy, right? You lose that desperation and you get lazy. So,
hey, you're gonna kill me. Can you start over? I wasn't paying attention.
No, I don't repeat myself. Sorry.
I don't repeat myself. That's such a Prince stand to hold. It's just like
he's like
you,
on Major League 2 when Dorn's standing on the base. When I go to pinch run for him.
Okay, this is gonna be like another like killer philosophical like tangent, but I think like that's very much true of life. I think people in general fall to the level they can. I think you always want to like do the easiest thing you can to get by. And the example I always think of is like a very hot girl, okay? Like, no, like, I think in general, life is easier, but there's some downfalls maybe to being extremely attractive that, people don't consider. But I think in general, people just always like, they want like the easiest way out. And I think it applies to a lot of things in life. But what a bear market really makes you do is buckle down, do your research, and actually learn and improve.
Yeah. You got no other option in a bear market, really. You want to survive, you got to put in the work. So,
yeah, and another thing, like we were always been saying today, and Gucci Gang again reference that shout out is these markets are just so fucking boring. So that just makes me when instead of doing whatever and just buying and selling, trading like Prince holding for literally 15 seconds, making money off that crap, because I can't ever do that, but you sit and you just read and research, run through baby pips again, and just it's a good time to learn.
That's the thing. You got to always, and that's the thing where a lot of people, and this is where it goes back to my whole, that feeling of desperation. This is where you got to dig deep and you just got to give it, right? You got to be learning, trying to educate yourself more, because when the raging bull market is around, you're not doing that. People don't do that. You know what I mean? It's just easy money. Who cares? This is a party, right?
Yeah.
So, and this is that thing where, and to me, this is my big thing, is trying to never forget, the desperation feeling, even, in the good times, because, things can change very quickly. And, we like to live in these markets. So we are all very well aware of how quickly things can change. You gotta, you just don't get too into one headspace, right?
Right.
This is something I wanted to mention. It's an article I saw on CoinDesk today. The headline is DEA agent, more speculators than criminals are using Bitcoin. And the crux of the article is that 5 years ago, roughly 90% of all Bitcoin transactions were used for fraudulent or criminal activity. And today it's roughly 10%. And these are comments coming from a DEA agent, Lilita Infante. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but she's saying that. And I think it's interesting. So, not to confuse this, they're actually saying the dollar value of illegal transactions with Bitcoin has gone up, but the percentage of overall Bitcoin transactions has gone way down from 90 to 10. What are you guys' thoughts on this? I thought it was kind of an interesting article.
Say that again. The Bitcoin going up, but sorry, I'm from.
I'm just gonna ignore him, killer. Ignore him. I think you know what. I'm not really surprised with that. I think obviously the dollar amount that's being used going up. Sure, that's just relative to the Bitcoin price. Mm-hmm. Bitcoin price has gone up too, quite a bit since a couple of years ago. But the amount of Bitcoin is being used, and I'm also not surprised there because we're getting more people into the space, right? To me, none of that really surprises me. I think, if anything, maybe it just kind of screws with the narrative that some of these politicians like to throw out, that Bitcoin is only used for illegal activities and stuff, which it's really not. I think the U.S. dollar is much worse. So let's be honest here, right?
Yeah, it's what the most used currency to buy drugs. I mean, come on, give me a break. They've all got their agenda and they want, to fit it to theirs. Look like that ugly dude, that congressman or senator, I can't think of his name right now, that sent that message to the dog.
Sherman, with the glasses.
Stop.
Yep.
Like, dude can do that, get that campaign money from someone, and then someone's calling him out on it, and he sends his verified Twitter account, sends Tog a message that just says stop. I mean, come on,
stop.
Stop. I can't imagine. It's just and another thing too with Bitcoin is everyone that's not in it thinks, oh, Bitcoin, people use it for illegal activities because you can't trace it or whatever. That's just a myth said, when it's realistically it's the exact opposite. I mean, aside from knowing whose wallet is whose, you can, I mean, there's no hiding transactions.
That's what I was going to say. At the end of that article, the DEA agent is quoted as saying, in reality, this stuff is super easy to trace. I hope people keep using it. So let that be a word to the wise, or, the not wise, who are still using that on darknet markets.
Yeah, you idiots.
I think most darknet markets are just a honeypot anyways.
Chris?
I don't think, just stay off the darknet.
Speaking of darknet, head on over to CryptoStreetStore.com and buy some t-shirts and hats and toques and shit like that, okay? Moving on.
Sure.
Moving on. I don't think
I'm kind of,
I think we have all the stuff covered that we wanted.
Running out of topics, so.
Yeah, the only last thing was I saw an article today. Researchers find that Twitter has been run amok with Bitcoin scammers. I'm like, researchers? Like, any Twitter user?
It's getting someone retweeted this. I wish I could remember who they were. I definitely follow them, and I wish I could give them props, but it was hilarious. It was like, the markets suck when even these ETH scammers now start posting selfies on their own scam accounts. And there literally were like, there's some of these accounts, so these people are just posting selfies of themselves like having a picnic. And it's a scam account, and like, to me, it was just hilarious, but it's so true. It's like, the market is getting tough when.
Hey, Fistum said exotic foods on the dark net, though. I can get corn from around the world, buddy. I got plenty of corn if you need it. Not Bitcoin either. I mean, like, feed your face, make whiskey kind of corn.
There you go.
So, Prince, I'm lurking your Twitter profile.
Don't lurk my Twitter profile.
Everyone needs to go check out the list that Prince is subscribed to.
What? I have lists? Oh, yeah, I created a list a while back. I don't know if I...
You better go change.
Open it up. Oh, easily.
What'd you say?
Where is this? How do you get here?
Are you on mobile or desktop?
Mobile.
I
Yeah.
don't know
Deleting
where it's
list.
at.
Deleted list.
I'm print screening it right
No,
fucking
it's already
now.
deleted, buddy.
What's
I
it
don't
say?
care. I'm
What's
still
it
there.
say,
I'm not
Dale?
going to refresh it. I'll tell you as soon as we hang up.
No.
There was a bunch of
All
people who made it, so who knows, right?
There's 22 members, so any one of them hopefully will remember. I remember.
Yeah. All right.
All right, well, anyone have any last minute questions that's listening out there? We'll give you a couple seconds while we finish this Busch Light here. Shout out Busch Light. I can't decide if I'm going to wear that polo to CoinCon.
No, you have to.
I think I do too, but I've
It's
got
like
a
a
closet
requirement.
full of
Yeah, I think you have to
clothes
too.
from our store. Destro
No.
said I'm the number one customer, just for the record.
Still haven't
So.
seen any money from that store, so I don't know what's going on, guys. But if you're the biggest customer,
Let's change
that
the
should.
subject here.
Prince, we've decided to exclude you from the profits.
Yeah, apparently.
Sorry. This is a bad place to break the news.
All right.
I mean, it yeah. So everyone, thanks for listening. Worst comes to worst, football season coming. Hey, crypto at night. That is 100% accurate. Football season is right around the corner. It's the best season, believe me. Okay. Thanks everyone for listening. We're gonna call it a night. You know what? Tip your waitress. They're out there working hard, keeping your sodas full. So we can just enjoy a nice crisp.
Someone says here, what about cufflinks? Nobody's got money for cufflinks anymore.
Yeah. See if I'm
Cufflinks.com. Check them out.
Yeah. CryptoStreetStore.com. We're gonna run a special. All the shirts that are marked 25. If you buy 2 of them, it's $50 plus shipping. That's only if you buy 2 though, and they got to be marked $25 for one. Okay. So get over there, check it out. No one gets that? No? Swing and a miss?
I don't get it.
They're marked $25, so if you buy 2, it's $50.
It's not a sale, Dale.
All right, Dale.
Okay.
Right.
I'm hanging up. Prince and I are going to fight. Check it out, CryptoCoinCon.com. Get your tickets. Watch the bear come at me. He's probably going to kill me, so it's nice knowing you. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you. Take it easy. Tip your waitress. Peace out.